When I was studying design and architecture, I went through exactly what every 3D artist experiences. Hours of modeling, endlessly tweaking details, and on the screen it was just a cold boring cluster of polygons. But then came the moment I always loved the most. The moment I placed every first virtual light into the scene and hit render. Boom! In fraction of seconds, the scene came alive. An image was born, carrying real emotion, and I felt this incredible sense of relief and clarity. That was the exact moment I realized I absolutely love this part. Today I work in Unreal Engine creating cinematics and game trailers. Looking back, I've realized that design and cinema are way more connected than people think. In this video I'm breaking down 4 crucial lessons that automotive and architecture design taught me about the camera and cinematography. So let's dive in. First up is light. This topic is so massive it deserves its own video series. Light can literally launch your design into the stratosphere, or it can completely bury it 6 feet under. When I was creating automotive presentation for design concepts, I learned a fundamental rule. Flat light is a scene killer. If you illuminate everything all at once and completely evenly, the human eyes has no idea where to look. The brain goes overwhelmed and you lose the audience attention instantly. Instead, you have to master the art of gradual reveal. You are literally telling a story using light, shadow and contrast. First, you expose a single dramatic silhouette, hiding the detail in the dark to build suspense, leading up the final visual climax, where the entire concept is revealed. In film, light isn't there just so we can see something, it's there so we can feel and know exactly where to look. Once we have light in the scene, it's time to pick up the virtual camera, and this is where composition and framing come into play. Composition is fascinating because it blends into every single artistic discipline. Once you master the fundamental rules, you can apply them to anywhere, from graphic design and architecture to framing a shot in a movie. Why? Because you finally understand how objects relate to one another. You learn what to place in the foreground to create depth, when to push it into the background, what you to visualize suspense, and what to emphasize. By combining composition with strategic lighting, you can gain a superpower. You can force the viewer to look exactly where you want to them. Directors and cinematographers use this constantly to show you only what matters, preventing visual fatigue right from the start. The third lesson comes directly from architecture: proportion and proper scale. In architecture, a relationship between a human being and space is everything. For our brains to judge how massive something truly is, it desperately needs a reference. Your sci-fi world or cinematic shot can't feature the actual human being. You have to use objects designed for human. Doors, steps, vehicles, handrails. Our brain know these objects subconsciously. A viewer sees a tiny industrial handrail on the side of the massive starship. It instantly clicks. Wow, that ship is the size of the skyscraper. If you don't anchor your scenes with these proportional cues, your epic cinematic will always just look like a cheap miniature model on the desk. And finally, shapes. Absolute master of this is director Joseph Kosinski. It's no coincidence that his background is in architecture. You can see it clearly in his, for me, the best work like Tron Legacy and Oblivion. His design and sensibilities, iconic world building and prestige composition are pure cinematic poetry. The shape of an object interior immediately tells you a story to the viewer's subconscious without a single line of dialogue. Is this vehicle fast or slow? Is this interior spacious or inviting? Or claustrophobic and dangerous? The silhouette dictates how we emotionally react to the scene and whatever we connect with it visually. Of course, the taste is subjective, different strokes for different folks, but the psychology of the primer shapes like circles, squares and triangles in cinema is absolute law. So the next time you frame shot in Unreal Engine, Blender, 3ds Max, don't just think about your technical camera setting. Think like a designer. Think about light and the reveals a mystery, composition that guides the eye, proportion that take your breath away. Which of these 4 elements do you think is the most important one? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you like this video and want to follow my journey as I building my own independent sci-fi IP and short films, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also check out my Jurik design channel where I showcase and create my own designs. I'm David and this is the Jurik, and I will see you in the next render, guys. Take care, bye.